Welcome to a journey to explore 7 of Earth's most breathtaking natural wonders, places that will make you question everything you know about the beauty our planet possesses. From the shimmering waterways of Africa's greatest oasis to the snow-capped perfection of Asia's most sacred peak, from ancient deserts that have witnessed the rise and fall of empires to mountain ranges that seem sculpted by the gods themselves, we're about to traverse continents and discover landscapes that have inspired poets, artists, and dreamers for millennia. These aren't just pretty pictures or postcard destinations. Each location we'll visit today carries within it stories of ancient civilizations, unique ecosystems that exist nowhere else on Earth, and geological mysteries that continue to baffle scientists. The Okavango Delta floods in reverse. Mount Fuji has inspired an entire nation's identity. The Gobi Desert holds dinosaur fossils from 80 million years ago. The Matterhorn's pyramid shape defies conventional mountain formation. Hawaii's Na Pali Coast remains largely untouched by modern development. New Zealand's caves glow with living starlight, and Australia's Bungle Bungle Range lay hidden from the world until the 1980s. But here's a question I want you to ponder as we begin. What is it about natural wonders that calls to something deep within the human spirit? Is it their timeless beauty, their raw power, or perhaps the humility they inspire in us? Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss future adventures. And don't forget to check the link below in the video description for exclusive deals on flights and accommodations to make your dream journey a reality. Now, let's begin our journey. Okavango Delta, Botswana. The Okavango Delta is located in northwestern Botswana, covering approximately 15,000 square kilometers, though during peak flood season it can expand to over 22,000 square kilometers. This makes it one of the world's largest inland delta systems. What makes it truly extraordinary is that it's an endorheic delta, meaning the Okavango River doesn't flow into any sea or ocean. Instead, it fans out into the Kalahari Desert, creating a vast inland oasis that seems to materialize out of nowhere. The delta sits in a tectonic trough, part of the Great Rift Valley system. The Okavango River originates in the Angolan highlands, traveling over 1,600 kilometers before spreading into this remarkable fan-shaped delta. The water arrives not during Botswana's rainy season, but paradoxically during the dry season, between March and August, creating a life-sustaining miracle when surrounding areas are at their most parched. For thousands of years, the Okavango Delta has been home to indigenous peoples, primarily the Bae and Hambukushu tribes, who arrived in the 18th century, and the San people, whose presence dates back tens of thousands of years. The San, also known as Bushmen, are considered one of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth, and their ancient rock paintings can still be found in the region, telling stories of their deep connection with this land. Bae people, often called the people of the water, developed a unique culture perfectly adapted to the delta's rhythms. They became master fishermen and navigators, creating the Makoro, traditional dugout canoes carved from single tree trunks, which remain the primary mode of transportation through the delta's narrow channels today. Their intimate knowledge of the water's seasonal patterns, fish migration routes, and safe passages through hippo and crocodile territories has been passed down through generations. The delta supports one of Africa's most concentrated and diverse populations of wildlife. We are talking about over 200,000 large mammals, including the famous African Big Five: lions, leopards, elephants, buffalo, and rhinoceros. The elephant population alone numbers around 130,000, one of the largest on the continent. These gentle giants have learned to navigate the delta's islands and waterways, and watching a herd cross a channel, trunks raised like snorkels, is something that will stay with you forever. The delta also hosts about 71 species of fish, over 480 species of birds, 1,300 plant species, and countless invertebrates and reptiles. What's truly remarkable is the delta's seasonal transformation. During the dry season, when the floods arrive from Angola, the desert suddenly transforms into a lush paradise. Islands emerge and disappear, channels open and close, and wildlife migrates following the life-giving water. Chief's Island, the largest island in the delta, at nearly 70 kilometers long, becomes a refuge for animals escaping the surrounding drought. The delta faces challenges, though. Climate change threatens rainfall patterns in the Angolan highlands. Upstream water extraction for agriculture and development in Angola and Namibia could reduce water flow. Poaching, while significantly reduced through intensive anti-poaching efforts, remains a concern. However, the Botswanan government, in partnership with local communities and international conservation organizations, continues to implement innovative protection strategies. The best time to visit depends on what you want to experience. Peak flood season, June to August, offers incredible water-based activities and abundant wildlife, but it's also the busiest and most expensive time. The dry season, September to October, concentrates animals around remaining water sources, making for spectacular game viewing. The green season, November to March, brings fewer tourists, lower prices, dramatic thunderstorms, and newborn animals, though some camps close during this period. The Okavango Delta stands as nature's triumph over adversity, a thriving wetland ecosystem in the heart of a desert. Its geographical uniqueness as the world's largest inland delta, combined with its rich cultural heritage rooted in the Bay, Hambukushu, and ancient San peoples, creates an irreplaceable natural and cultural treasure. With thoughtful conservation and sustainable tourism practices, this World Heritage Site continues to support extraordinary biodiversity while providing meaningful experiences for visitors and sustainable livelihoods for local communities. When you witness elephants wading through crystalline waters against a backdrop of African sunset, you'll understand why the Okavango Delta is often called the Jewel of the Kalahari. Mount Fuji, Japan. Mount Fuji stands majestically at 3,776.24 meters, 12,389 feet, making it Japan's tallest peak. It's located about 100 kilometers southwest of Tokyo, straddling the border between Shizuoka and Yamanashi prefectures on Honshu, Japan's main island. On exceptionally clear days, you can see Fujisan's snow-capped peak from Tokyo, appearing to float above the horizon like a vision from a woodblock print. Mount Fuji is what we call a stratovolcano, a composite volcano built up by many layers of hardened lava, tephra, and volcanic ash from repeated eruptions. Scientists estimate that the current Mount Fuji began forming approximately 100,000 years ago, though the elegant cone shape we recognize today took its final form around 10,000 years ago after several major eruptions reshaped the mountain. Mount Fuji is actually composed of three distinct volcanoes layered one upon another. The oldest, called Ko-Fuji, Old Fuji, forms the base. Atop that sits Komatake Fuji, and finally, the youngest layer, Shin-Fuji, New Fuji, creates the summit we see today. This triple-layered structure is rare and contributes to the mountain's remarkable symmetry. Mount Fuji is still considered an active volcano, though it last erupted in 1707 during what's known as the Hoi eruption. That eruption lasted 16 days, covering Edo, present-day Tokyo, in several centimeters of ash and creating three new craters on the mountain's southeastern flank, known as the Hoi craters. Today, the mountain is carefully monitored, with seismographs detecting frequent small earthquakes beneath its slopes, a reminder that Fujisan merely sleeps, it does not rest permanently. To understand Mount Fuji's place in Japanese culture, you need to understand that in Japan, mountains aren't merely geographical features. They're sacred spaces where the earthly and divine realms meet. Mount Fuji has been revered as a sacred mountain since ancient times, believed to be home to the Shinto goddess Konohana Sakuya Hime, whose name means the princess who makes the flowers of the trees blossom. The mountain's spiritual significance deepened during the Heian period, 794–1185, when Buddhist monks began incorporating Fuji into their religious practices, blending Shinto and Buddhist traditions in what's called Shugendo, a syncretic religion that involves mountain asceticism. For centuries, climbing Mount Fuji was considered a religious pilgrimage, and until the Meiji era in 1868, women were forbidden from ascending, as the mountain was deemed too sacred for female presence. In 2013, UNESCO inscribed Mount Fuji on the World Heritage List, not as a natural site, but as a cultural landscape site titled Fujisan, Sacred Place, and Source of Artistic Inspiration. This recognition acknowledges that the mountain's value lies not just in its physical beauty, but in its profound cultural and spiritual significance to Japanese identity. At Mount Fuji's northern base lie the Fuji Five Lakes, Fujigoko, Kawagachiko, Seiko, Yamanakako, Shijiko, and Motosuko, each offering spectacular views of the mountain and forming an integral part of the Fuji-Hakonizu National Park. These lakes were formed by ancient lava flows that dammed rivers and created natural basins. The most famous, Lake Kawagachiko, provides the iconic reflection view of Mount Fuji that appears in countless photographs. Climate change poses another threat. The permanent snow cap that traditionally crowned Fuji year-round is decreasing, and some scientists predict it could disappear entirely if warming continues. This would not only affect the mountain's appearance, but also its cultural significance and the ecosystems that depend on snowmelt. Mount Fuji represents the perfect intersection of natural grandeur and cultural significance. As Japan's tallest peak and an active stratovolcano with a distinctive symmetrical form, it commands attention through sheer physical presence. But it's the mountain's spiritual and artistic legacy, from ancient Shinto beliefs to Hokusai's iconic prints, that elevates Fujisan beyond mere geography into the realm of cultural identity. Whether you choose to join pilgrims on the challenging climb to witness Goreiko from the summit, or simply contemplate the mountain's perfect cone reflected in Lake Kawagachiko while cherry blossoms drift in the breeze, Mount Fuji offers a profound connection to both nature's power and humanity's capacity for reverence. This sacred mountain reminds us that some places transcend their physical dimensions, becoming symbols that unite people across generations. The Gobi Desert, Mongolia, China. The Gobi Desert is vast, truly vast. Covering approximately 1.3 million square kilometers, it stretches across southern Mongolia and northern China, making it the fifth largest desert in the world and the largest in Asia. To put that in perspective, it's roughly the size of Peru, or larger than Texas and California combined. The desert spans from the Altai Mountains and steppes of Mongolia in the north to the Tibetan Plateau in the southwest, bounded by the North China Plain to the southeast. Here's what makes the Gobi geographically fascinating. It's not a sandy desert as most people imagine. In fact, only about 5% of the Gobi consists of sand dunes. The majority is bare rock, compacted gravel plains called Gobi, which means waterless place in Mongolian, sparse grasslands and rugged mountains. The landscape shifts dramatically across its expanse, from the Kongorin Els sand dunes, which can reach 300 meters in height and stretch for over 100 kilometers, to the stony plateaus and badlands where nothing seems to grow. The Gobi is classified as a cold desert, experiencing extreme temperature variations. Summer temperatures can soar above 40 degrees C, 104 degrees F, while winter temperatures plummet to degrees C, minus 40 degrees F. I want you to think about that range, an 80 degrees Celsius swing. This makes the Gobi one of the most extreme environments on Earth in terms of temperature variation. The desert receives minimal precipitation, typically less than 194 millimeters annually, with some areas receiving less than 50 millimeters, making it incredibly arid. The Gobi Desert's formation is a story millions of years in the making. It sits in the rain shadow of the Himalayan mountains, which block moisture-bearing clouds from the Indian Ocean from reaching this region. As the Himalayas rose due to the collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates, the area that would become the Gobi gradually dried out, transforming from a more hospitable environment into the desert we see today. What makes the Gobi truly special to scientists is its paleontological significance. This desert is quite literally a time machine. The flaming cliffs, Bayanzag, in southern Mongolia, named for their orange-red color at sunset, have yielded some of the most important dinosaur discoveries ever made. In the 1920s, American explorer Roy Chapman Andrews, who, incidentally, is said to have inspired the character of Indiana Jones, led expeditions here that discovered the first known dinosaur eggs, complete nests, and numerous dinosaur species previously unknown to science. The The Gobi continues to reveal its secrets. Fossils of Protoceratops, Velociraptor, Oviraptor, and numerous other species have been found here, preserved in remarkable detail by the dry conditions and rapid burial by sandstorms millions of years ago. The desert's layered sedimentary rocks contain a record of ancient lakes, forests, and ecosystems that existed here during the Mesozoic era, providing crucial evidence for understanding Earth's climatic history. The desert has been home to nomadic peoples for thousands of years. Today, Mongolian herders continue to practice traditional nomadic pastoralism, moving their jurs, circular felt tents, seasonally to find grazing for their livestock. These hardy people have developed an intimate understanding of the desert's rhythms and resources. They herd the famous Bactrian camels, the two-humped variety, hardy Mongolian horses, goats, and sheep specially adapted to desert conditions. Throughout history, the Gobi served as both barrier and highway. It protected China's northern frontier while simultaneously providing trade routes that connected civilizations. The Great Wall of China extends into desert regions, with watchtowers standing sentinel over once strategic passages. Buddhist pilgrims and monks traveling from India to China had to cross portions of the Gobi, enduring its hardships in pursuit of spiritual knowledge. Despite its harsh reputation, the Gobi supports a surprising diversity of life. Species here have evolved remarkable adaptations to survive extreme temperatures, water scarcity, and sparse vegetation. The Bactrian camel, critically endangered in the wild with only around 1,000 individuals remaining, can go without water for months, tolerate temperatures from -40 degrees C to 40 degrees C, and even drink salt water if necessary. Their two humps store fat, not water, as commonly believed, that can be metabolized for energy and water when food is scarce. Plant life in the Gobi is sparse but tenacious. Saxaul trees, with their peculiar leafless, green branches, provide crucial habitat and fodder for wildlife. Hardy grasses and shrubs survive in areas with slightly more moisture. After rare rainfall events, the desert can temporarily bloom with wildflowers, a brief explosion of color and life that showcases nature's resilience. The Gobi Desert embodies paradox, a place of emptiness that teems with history, a wasteland that sustains unique life, a barrier that connected civilizations. Stretching across southern Mongolia and northern China, this vast cold desert challenges survival with its temperature extremes while rewarding persistence with paleontological treasures and breathtaking landscapes. The Gobi's cultural legacy, from Silk Road caravans to nomadic herders maintaining ancient traditions, demonstrates human resilience and adaptation. Whether you're standing on the Kongorin Els dunes as the sun sets and the sand begins to sing, or sharing milk tea with a nomadic family in their jur, The Gobi Desert teaches us that beauty and life persist even in the harshest conditions. The Matterhorn, Switzerland, Italy. The Matterhorn, known as Cervino in Italian and Mont Cervin in French, stands at 4,478 meters, 14,692 feet, on the border between Switzerland and Italy, specifically between the Swiss canton of Valais and Italy's Aosta Valley. The mountain's summit actually straddles the border, though the majority of the peak lies within Swiss territory. It's located in the Pennine Alps, a subrange of the Western Alps, approximately 10 kilometers from the Swiss resort town of Zermatt. What creates the Matterhorn's distinctive shape is a fascinating geological story. The mountain is composed primarily of gneiss and schist from the African tectonic plate sitting atop rocks from the European plate, a remnant of the massive collision between Africa and Europe that created the Alps beginning about 50 million years ago. The Matterhorn represents what geologists call a nap, where older African rocks were thrust up and over younger European rocks in a massive tectonic overthrust. The iconic pyramid shape resulted from glacial erosion on all four sides. During the last ice age, glaciers carved away at the mountain from 4 different valleys, creating 4 distinct faces and 4 ridges: the Hernley, Fergan, Leone, and Zedmutt ridges. These glaciers acted like enormous grinding tools, sculpting the mountain into its current form over hundreds of thousands of years. The summit itself is actually a small ridge about 100 meters long, with Swiss and Italian ends slightly different in elevation. The Swiss side rises about 2 meters higher. The mountain's faces are notoriously steep, with the north face being one of the great challenges in mountaineering, a 1,200-meter wall of rock and ice that remains treacherous even by modern standards. All 4 faces present serious climbing challenges, with frequent rockfall, sudden weather changes, and exposed positions that have claimed hundreds of lives since climbing attempts began. The story of the Matterhorn's first ascent is one of triumph, tragedy, and controversy, a tale that captures the golden age of alpine mountaineering. For years, the Matterhorn was considered unclimbable, its sheer walls and unstable rock deterring attempts. By the mid-1860s, however, mountaineers had conquered most major alpine peaks, and the Matterhorn remained the glittering prize. The race to the summit focused on two routes: the Italian ridge, Lione from Breuil-Cervinia, and the Swiss ridge, Hernley from Zermatt. Italian guide Jean-Antoine Carroll made multiple attempts from the Italian side. Meanwhile, British climber Edward Whymper, who had made 7 previous unsuccessful attempts, assembled a team for an attempt from the Swiss side on July 14, 1865. The mountain has also found its way into literature and film. It features prominently in climbing literature, from Whymper's own scrambles amongst the Alps to modern mountaineering accounts. Films like The White Tower, 1950, and Third Man on the Mountain, 1959, used the Matterhorn as both setting and character, portraying it as the ultimate test of human courage and determination. You don't need to climb the Matterhorn to appreciate its majesty. Zermatt offers numerous hiking trails with spectacular views. The 5 Lakes Walk, 5 Seenwanderung, provides reflections of the mountain in alpine lakes, creating classic photo opportunities. The Matterhorn Glacier Trail leads from Schwarzsee to Trockenesteg, offering close-up views of glacial features and the mountain's towering north face. For photography enthusiasts, sunrise at Riffelsee, easily accessible from Gornegrat Railway, creates one of the most iconic Matterhorn images, the mountain perfectly reflected in the small lake's still waters. Autumn brings golden larch trees that contrast beautifully with the grey rock and white snow. Winter transforms Zermatt into a wonderland, with the Matterhorn presiding over world-class ski terrain. The Matterhorn Museum in Zermatt tells the story of the mountain, the tragic first ascent, and the transformation of Zermatt from farming village to tourist destination. It includes the frayed rope from the 1865 accident, equipment from various eras of mountaineering, and reconstructions of old Zermatt buildings. It's a moving tribute to the human stories behind this iconic peak. The Matterhorn transcends its status as merely a mountain to become a symbol of Switzerland, of human ambition, of nature's sublime power. Its near-perfect pyramidal form, carved by millennia of glacial erosion along the border between Switzerland and Italy, creates what many consider the world's most recognizable peak. The dramatic history of its first ascent in 1865, ending in both triumph and tragedy, established the Matterhorn as mountaineering's ultimate challenge and helped define the sport itself. Today, whether viewed from car-free Zermatt, photographed reflected in Riffelsee's waters, or summited by determined climbers willing to face its serious challenges, the Matterhorn continues to inspire awe. Climate change now threatens to alter the mountain's appearance and increase its dangers, making visits to this alpine icon increasingly precious. The Matterhorn reminds us that some achievements require courage and sacrifice, and that nature's grandest creations command our respect, not our conquest. Na Pali Coast, Hawaii, USA. The Na Pali Coast occupies the northwestern shore of Kauai, the oldest of the main Hawaiian islands. This 17-mile stretch of coastline features sea cliffs rising as high as 4,000 feet, 1,200 meters, directly from the ocean, some of the highest sea cliffs in the world. The name Na Pali means the cliffs in Hawaiian, a straightforward description that hardly captures the majesty of these formations. Kauai itself formed approximately 5.1 million years ago from volcanic activity as the Pacific Plate moved over the Hawaiian hotspot, a stationary plume of magma rising from deep within Earth's mantle. The island's greater age compared to Maui, Oahu, or the Big Island has allowed more time for erosion to sculpt dramatic features. Mount Fuji, located in Kauai's interior, is one of the wettest spots on Earth, receiving an average of 460 inches, 11,700 mm of rain annually. This extreme rainfall feeds countless waterfalls and streams that have carved the deep valleys and sharp ridges characterizing the Na Pali Coast. The cliffs consist primarily of basaltic lava flows layered over millions of years. These layers erode at different rates, depending on their composition and structure, creating the stepped appearance visible on many cliff faces. Marine erosion from wave action undercuts the cliff's bases, occasionally causing massive collapses that reshape the coastline. The combination of rainfall erosion from above and wave action from below has sculpted narrow valleys called hanging valleys, where streams plunge over cliff edges directly into the ocean, creating spectacular waterfalls. The coast's inaccessibility is part of its appeal. There are no roads along the Na Pali Coast. The terrain is simply too rugged and unstable for road construction, and the area's pristine condition has been preserved partly due to this natural protection. This makes the Na Pali Coast one of the few remaining truly wild coastlines in the United States. Long before European contact, native Hawaiians lived in the Na Pali Coast's valleys, creating a thriving culture in what seems like an impossibly remote and challenging environment. Archaeological evidence suggests Hawaiian settlement of Kauai dates back to around 400–600 CE, with the Na Pali valleys being among the first areas settled due to their fresh water, fertile soil, and abundant marine resources. The valleys, including Hanakoa, Honopu, Kalalau, and New Alalo, supported agricultural communities that grew taro, sweet potatoes, bananas, and other crops on terraced fields. These ancient agricultural terraces can still be seen today, testament to Hawaiian engineering and agricultural expertise. The communities practiced a complex system of land division called ahupua, where each valley was a self-sustaining unit stretching from mountain to sea, providing all resources needed for life. Hawaiians navigated the coast in outrigger canoes, using their intimate knowledge of ocean currents, weather patterns, and landing sites. Several sea caves along the coast, including the famous Honopu Arch, also called the Cathedral, held spiritual significance. The valleys were connected by steep, narrow trails expertly carved into the cliff faces, paths that required intimate knowledge and sure-footedness to navigate. After European contact in 1778 and the subsequent introduction of foreign diseases, the Na Pali Coast population declined dramatically. By the late 19th century, the valleys were largely abandoned. The last permanent resident left Kalalau Valley in the 1920s, though people have attempted to live there at various times since. Today, the terraces, stone walls, and heiau sacred sites remain, slowly being reclaimed by the jungle but still visible to hikers willing to venture into the valleys. The Na Pali Coast's isolation and varied microclimates create habitat for extraordinary biodiversity, including numerous endemic species found nowhere else on Earth. The cliffs themselves provide nesting sites for seabirds, while the hanging valleys contain ecosystems ranging from dry coastal forest to wet montane forest within short distances. The Na Pali Coast represents Hawaii's wild heart, a place where ancient Hawaiian culture, extraordinary biodiversity, and geological drama combine into one of Earth's most spectacular coastlines. These towering sea cliffs, carved by millions of years of rain and wave action along Kauai's northwestern shore, remain largely inaccessible by road, preserving their pristine character. The valleys once supported thriving Hawaiian communities whose agricultural terraces and sacred sites still resonate with cultural significance. As conservation challenges grow alongside appreciation for this special place, visiting the Na Pali Coast becomes an opportunity to witness wilderness increasingly rare in our developed world, and a responsibility to tread lightly and preserve what remains. Waitomo Glowworm Caves, New Zealand. The Waitomo Caves are located in the Waitomo district on New Zealand's North Island, approximately 12 kilometers northwest of Te Kuiti in the Waikato region. The name Waitomo comes from the Maori words wai, water, and tomo, hole or shaft, literally meaning water passing through a hole, an apt description of the underground streams and sinkholes characterizing this limestone landscape. The caves formed over approximately 30 million years through a fascinating geological process. During the Oligocene epoch, the area was covered by ocean. Marine creatures, primarily tiny organisms with calcium carbonate shells, died and accumulated on the seafloor over millions of years, eventually forming thick limestone deposits. Tectonic activity gradually lifted these limestone formations above sea level, creating the landmass we see today. Once exposed to air and rainwater, the real magic began. Rainwater, slightly acidic from absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and soil, slowly dissolved the limestone, creating cracks that widened into passages, which expanded into chambers. Underground streams carved their way through the rock, creating rivers that still flow today. Where the rock was weaker or more soluble, large caverns formed. This process, called karstification, continues today, meaning the caves are still slowly changing and growing. The Waitomo cave system is extensive, with 3 main caves open to tourism. The Waitomo Glowworm Caves, the most famous, Ruakuri Cave, the longest guided caving tour, and Aranui Cave, featuring impressive stalactites and other formations. Many other caves exist in the region, some explored, others still being discovered, and many accessible only to experienced cavers. The stars of the show, quite literally, are the glowworms, though calling them worms is somewhat misleading. These creatures are actually the larvae of a fungus gnat species called Arachnocampa luminosa, endemic to New Zealand. They're found only in New Zealand and nowhere else on Earth, making them a truly unique spectacle. Here's how these remarkable creatures create their light. The larva produces a sticky, thread-like silk line, up to 70, can hang from a single larva coated with droplets of mucus. These threads hang down from the cave ceiling like miniature fishing lines. The glowworm then produces light through a chemical reaction called bioluminescence in a specialized organ at its tail end. This cold light, producing almost no heat here, involves the chemical luciferin reacting with oxygen in the presence of the enzyme luciferase, the same basic chemistry used by fireflies, though in glowworms it produces a steady glow rather than flashes. The Waitomo Caves' human history begins with the indigenous Maori people. According to tradition, local Maori knew of the caves for centuries before European settlement, though the deeper passages remained unexplored. partly due to practical difficulties of exploration without modern equipment, and partly due to spiritual beliefs about disturbing underground realms. The caves feature impressive speleothems, the general term for cave formations created by mineral deposits. Stalactites, hanging from the ceiling, you can remember. Stalactites hold tight to the ceiling, have formed over thousands of years as mineral-rich water drips downward, leaving behind tiny deposits of calcium carbonate with each drop. Some stalactites in Waitomo have grown into elaborate formations resembling organ pipes or frozen waterfalls. Stalagmites grow upward from the cave floor where the dripping water lands, building up in mirror image to the stalactites above. Where stalactites and stalagmites meet, they form columns. Other formations include flowstones, where water flows over surfaces rather than dripping, creating sheet-like deposits, helictites, formations that defy gravity, growing in seemingly random directions due to crystal pressure or air currents, and rimstone dams, circular deposits created by mineral-rich water. The Waitomo glowworm caves showcase nature's capacity for creating wonder in unexpected places, transforming dark limestone caverns into galaxies of living light. Formed over 30 million years as acidic water dissolved limestone into intricate passages and chambers, these caves provide the perfect environment for Arachnocampa luminosa, New Zealand's endemic glowworm species, which illuminate the darkness in their search for prey. Whether floating silently beneath thousands of glowworms on the traditional boat tour, blackwater rafting through adventure passages, or admiring the cathedral's perfect acoustics and delicate formations, Waitomo offers experiences that blur the line between reality and fantasy. This underground wonder reminds us that Earth's most magical displays often hide in its hidden spaces, waiting for those willing to descend into darkness to discover living starlight. We've journeyed from the water-rich wilderness of Botswana's Okavango Delta, where life thrives against the desert's odds, to Japan's sacred Mount Fuji, where nature and culture intertwine in perfect harmony. We crossed the vast, silent expanses of the Gobi Desert, where nomads have adapted to extremes for millennia, then scaled the heights of the Matterhorn, where beauty and danger walk hand in hand. We explored Hawaii's Na Pali Coast, where paradise clings to vertical cliffs, descended into New Zealand's Waitomo caves, where living lights create underground galaxies, and finally witnessed Australia's Bungle Bungles, where time itself seems sculpted in stone. Each destination teaches us something profound, that nature's creativity is boundless, that indigenous peoples have maintained sacred connections to land for thousands of years, that true wonder often requires effort and respect to access, and that preservation matters, not just for us, but for generations yet to come. Here's my reflection for you to carry forward. In our hyper-connected, fast-paced world, these natural wonders offer something increasingly rare, the chance to step outside our daily concerns and reconnect with something timeless, something that puts our brief lives into perspective while simultaneously making us feel deeply alive. They remind us that we are part of something larger, something that existed long before us and will continue long after. So I'll leave you with this thought-provoking question. Which of these 7 wonders called most strongly to your spirit? And what is it about that place that resonated with something deep within you? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear which destination captured your imagination and why. And please, if this journey inspired you, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're building a community of curious, adventurous souls who believe the world is meant to be experienced, not just observed from screens. Share this video with someone who needs a reminder that wonder still exists, and join us for the next adventure.